My last one is discussion and vote. Authorize the mayor to sign addendum number 1 with Garnet River for additional help with the FOIL process. The addendum, which is not to exceed an additional $10,000. The original contract was approved on November 19, 2024 for $2,000. The Garnet River will be processing the FOIL requests for the short term until a new FOIL officer is hired. Through this work, Garnet River is looking at our current FOIL process and determining where technology can be more efficient. I put this in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Now we can discuss it. I think you're concerned about it?
Yes, I'm concerned about it for a number of reasons. I know that you've said publicly that we've had 900 FOIL requests, more than Saratoga County.
Correct.
And I know that I've run into Assistant City Attorney Izzo, who has shared with me his night work in City Hall, reviewing 6 to 8 FOIL requests in the evening. I'm not quite sure if this is enough, if this is adequate or robust enough. And the reason I say this is that this may or may not be my last council meeting. I don't want to vote on this because I think that we need a much more robust FOIL review and FOIL protection. Because I have seen the FOIL process thrown against the city of Saratoga Springs in a couple of ways. First of all, we need to protect the institution of the city, and I don't think we've adequately done that. And second of all, I've seen a city council member arrested in terms of a FOIL process, which I don't really understand how that happened. And I do know that if I'm successful in the write-in election on the 28th, the people that file these FOIL requests will be foiling me and foiling my department. So therefore, I can't support this at this time because I think we need a much more comprehensive and robust answer to this problem. And that's my perspective.
Any other discussion?
My position is that I think it's a good start to try to address the problem, but I would like to hear more from Attorney Izzo to give us the scope of the problem and what you see as the solution moving forward, because you are our FOIL officer. Would you be willing to do that?
Okay, that's good, Tony. I also have a comment on this, but go ahead, Tony.
I think, Commissioner, there's little I can add that the council is not already aware of. FOIL requests never used to be this voluminous, but they are now, and they're much easier to make now in the digital age, and we get quite a large number of them. Some of them are not complicated, others most assuredly are. And the technology side of it is very important to consider. So the proposal that is before you this evening addresses perhaps not the entire problem, but certainly a component of it that needs to be addressed. There's a way to deal with FOIL by additional personnel, additional technology. It all works together to alleviate what is a rather large workload for every department of the city that holds records. I suppose if I had one thing to say to conclude, and any comment I might have, is that those of us who work in FOIL on a regular basis would certainly appreciate any progress that the council will be willing to advance us. That's the best I can say.
All right, thank you. Yeah, my comment is the mayor's department is in charge of the legal department, which is in charge of the FOIL process. And I find it's interesting that this is coming up because our last FOIL officer left under difficult circumstances, mainly by a number of other pressures that were put on her. And so we had no one to process FOILs, and we are required by the state to process them. So we jumped in, we've been taking care of it, but we came up with a very creative solution, short-term solution. Now, we happen to interview somebody today who we think is a very good prospect to move into that position. And we immediately started working on this because we know how important it is. Tony has been working, as you say, a lot of extra hours, making sure that our process does not fall any further behind than it already is. But we came up with an attorney who's willing to spend time with us with Garnet River, and required some time from the current contractor that is working here, and we needed a few extra hours. But that organization is looking at how we can apply AI to this process. It's very creative. That's what this minimal amount of money, I doubt it will come even close to that. But we wanted to make sure we had enough money to enter into this process to find a creative solution to our FOIL process. And we've done, I think, just an outstanding job in terms of keeping this process going, making sure we're being legal, and also looking at technology that will help move us forward. And it seems as though what we'll have tonight, we'll see how Commissioner Moran goes on this, but my feeling tonight is, we don't have 3 votes for this. And I find that very interesting, especially since we have been criticized so much for not addressing this issue. And now that we're doing that, it looks like there's an obstacle put in the way, and it's a political one here tonight. Am I wrong about that?
The gobbledygook you just spilled out over there is the first I've ever heard of your intention to fix the FOIL catastrophe led by you with AI. As a person who wasn't arrested, Commissioner, I appreciate the sentiment, but who's been charged with a crime, a violation of an administrative process that you yourself have admitted to doing at this very table, right? There's a question about whether or not an item is discoverable. That Mike Brandy, the head of the GOP, decided to criminalize as opposed to follow the administrative law. You sat there and you said you intentionally withheld a FOIL from me. That's willful conduct. This isn't even an opinion. So you, sir, are guilty of what I'm personally being dragged through the mud for. You want to talk about politics. So there's one. You had time to talk. You had time to talk. No, you had the time. No, sir, you had the time to talk.
Which problem are you talking about?
The FOIL issue.
The FOIL issue,
the
or
charge
the issue
that
that you refused to give information?
No. Mr. Iso, please step up to the microphone.
Wait.
No. Mr. Iso, please step up to the microphone.
Just sit down for a second.
No, Mr. Iso has direct testimony that provides on this matter.
What is the question you want to ask?
We're going to talk about a conversation I had about this exact issue. Come on, Tony.
All right. Okay, Tony, go ahead. You had a conversation about...
The item before the court relates to whether or not an item is discoverable, correct?
The current proceeding in city court.
I provided you
why don't you let
an
him
example of...
Commissioner, you brought him up. Tony, explain what happened.
Folks, I can choose to talk about anything I want.
Oh.
It's called the First Amendment.
Yeah, it is ongoing.
What is your question, Commissioner?
Tony, if
You and I have a conversation
minute.
in the due context of
Commissioner,
the process.
just be quiet for a second. Is this ongoing litigation? Can we talk about this publicly?
It is a matter that is currently before city court. It has not been resolved yet. That's my understanding. My answers will be in the generic sense. If Commissioner Moran is asking me if he and I have had a discussion about what a certification is under FOIL, yes, we have had that discussion in a number of different contexts.
So
I will answer that generically.
I provided a personal test that was FOIL that is not discoverable to the FOIL officer, and I said, is this discoverable? He said no. We said, you can't have it. And from there, I got charged with something.
You think you called him up?
Yeah.
You should let him answer.
He just did.
Did you, Tony?
I responded that I have sometimes discussed certifications.
You won't tell this specifically because you're all worried about
Mr. Moran and with
Do you
others.
mind letting him speak?
I have discussed the concept of certification. An individual certifies that I've made a diligent search and I have found no records to satisfy a request. And I have had that conversation with Commissioner Moran and with others over the years. That is one of the provisions of FOIL. I don't feel at this point that it is within my purview to comment on the facts in this particular matter that is currently before City Court. But I will state that I have had conversations about certification with a number of members of this workforce, including from time to time Commissioner Moran.
When an applicant doesn't get information that they request at first pass, what is the appropriate next step?
Usually an appeals process.
And after that, then what is the next step?
Usually in Article 78.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
So, in addition to me being charged with something you yourself has done by the head of your party, sir, my personal my privacy has been violated because of the FOIL process. I know that same person has undiscoverable materials in their hands because they were handed to him by your office. I know other people amongst this administration who have had the same exact thing happen to them. And the idea that you would think that we're going to let you fix the problem you're creating and propagating is silly. So there's your answer.
So you're saying that...
We're going to have a very comprehensive solution to this.
That under the mayor's office, after you have complained immensely that we're trying to take a creative, new approach to solving
you
our
just said
problem,
for the first time.
you are not, you're against that.
I am against you having anything to do with it because you've weaponized it and done nothing other than to use it as a tool against us since the day you walked in here. That's the answer.
You are so wrong.
Really? I'm so wrong.
You're
so wrong.
about so many things.
Really, John? So on January 3rd, a year ago, you weren't scheming to start undermining myself as it related to deputy pay with John Kaufman and Mike Brandy and Meg Kelly? Were you doing that or not doing that?
You don't need me to undermine yourself. You do that yourself.
Whatever that means.
Whenever you're talking, you're undermining yourself.
I am?
Yeah,
Really?
you do it all the time.
Really?
I'm sorry you like that. It's just the way it is.
Well, no.
Okay,
John,
so
the point of this issue is
the point of this issue is to solve the problem.
Yeah, and to do so, we need a
creating more
comprehensive look at it with people we can trust. And so we're going to bring forward a third-party law organization that can actually tell us what needs to be done.
You're going to step forward and fix the mayor's problem.
No.
That's what
We're
you're talking
not
about.
going to let you pursue this without a more comprehensive approach. You just presented something to me and expected me to vote on it. I've
You weren't
never
here
heard.
Friday.
Excuse me?
You weren't here.
I'm sorry, I had a medical procedure. Is that
Doesn't matter.
okay?
You weren't here.
So I have 1 day to learn about your grand plan? I have 1 day to learn about your grand plan, sir?
This has been
That's the courtesy
a very
you show
short
me?
period of time, and we're coming up with solutions, and you're standing
You're
in the
coming
way.
up with...
I'm going to call...
You're calling it a solution. I don't know how it's a solution.
Let me ask you, do you plan on voting for this?
Where's this ever
plan
been
on voting
implemented?
for this?
Where's this ever been implemented before?
Do you plan on
Where's
voting?
this ever been implemented?
This is a brand new solution.
So it's never been implemented anywhere before?
No.
That's called R&D. That's not a solution.
Called AI.
That's called
what it's called.
Anthony Izzo. We got AI already.
Okay, well, the commissioner was just concerned about Tony. Right? That's why you're not going to vote on this tonight.
I'm going to abstain on it.
Yeah. You're going to vote for it?
Not a chance.
Okay. I'm going to...
I just want to make another comment, if I may. I think we need immediate help in FOIL. I think that's the issue. Why we work to a more comprehensive approach, and I think we have to get this done. I think it's a good step in the right direction. So I'm going to vote yes for it.
Yeah.
But
And I think we need to work together to solve problems.
Together?
And you're not doing that.
Wait. You didn't say together.
I did say.
No, you didn't.
I
You
said we need
you
to
were going to
work-
solve the problem.
No, I did not. I said we are going to bring forward a comprehensive solution. That's exactly what I said, sir.
What we have been working on is working
You
together
have-
to try and form
you
a
have-
database that will solve a lot of problems. We've been
I don't-
talking about that forever.
It's
You
in
want-
process. My side's done. If you want to talk about the database, this side of the database is complete, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Why do you say stuff like that?
Well, you brought it up.
Because it isn't. All right. I will pull this until next meeting. We don't have the votes to do it. What, you want to vote on it?
If it doesn't pass, it doesn't pass.
Has to have 3 votes to pass.
All right. So I will call a vote on trying to solve the foil problem creatively and moving forward. And I will call a vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Any abstentions?
Abstention.
So the vote is 2, 1 against, 1 abstention. The matter does not pass, and we will bring this back again.